Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all variations thereof. And welcome to an unusual Thursday stream, because we're not doing anything with the World of Madness peeps today. All of them are dead. They died. I'm kidding. They're not dead. Everyone's fine. They're all fine. No, everyone's just busy tonight, apparently. So I'm stuck on my own, which means that today we're actually going to be doing something a little different. We are going to be doing some of this. We're going to be doing some Talespire. We're going to be doing some map building on the Shadows of Sorcery campaign, because I've been doing a fair amount of work on it so far. I'm quite happy with the progress that I've made on the Delmain Isle map. There's a few things that I still want to do, but for the most part it is done. There are bits and pieces that I want to put together here and there, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So tonight's going to be a quiet stream, while I mumble away to myself building and putting stuff together. Yeah. Unexpectedly, there was nobody around today, which usually lying's around, but, well, it sometimes even lying needs to take a break. But yes, this is, for those who are unaware, this is the map that we play on the D&D sessions that get hosted once a month, every second Wednesday. So this is what the map looks like at the moment for those D&D sessions. It's not finished. There are still little bits and pieces here and here that need to be filled in. The top of this sort of rocky cavern area needs to be put on, then you have these docks at the edge as well, which I'm quite happy about. Hold on, let me get some music in. I don't want to be doing this in the quiet. Vocals, instrumentals, modern classical. There we go. But yes. So this is what I'm working on at the moment. Now, as I said, I'm actually quite happy with... Oh, there we go. I'm quite happy with how this map looks now. There's still a little bit of stuff that I need to do over here, make some gardens and stuff. Add in a little bit of sort of flooring in here, and fill in this hole here. But for the most part, it is finished, which I'm quite happy about, to be honest. It took a while, but yeah, it's all finished. There's still a few bits and pieces that I want to put in, but yeah, mostly finished. So today we're actually gonna get started on a new map. Instead of going back to this one, which admittedly does look very nice. Yeah, instead of going back to this one, we are going to make a new map board, and we are going to go and start anew, as it were. We are going to be building a new board that is going to be part of the same world. Is there a place to download that map? Not yet, Run Jump Stomp. The map will be downloadable eventually. Once that part of the campaign has concluded, I will be packing up that map and putting it on Tales Tavern. So for everyone to enjoy. But until the campaign is wrapped up, until that section of the campaign that involves that map is wrapped up, it won't be available. But once it is available, I will be letting people know. So yeah, the map is called Delmain Isle. It's a little island in the middle of nowhere. But it is part of the Shadows of Sorcery campaign, which I'm running every second Wednesday of the month. So yeah, if you want to see how my players are handling the various obstacles that I keep putting in their way, yeah, join us on every second Wednesday, and you can see. Right, let's see. So, we're going to start out today with a harbour city. So, our players at the moment, they're all clustered together on a little island in the middle of nowhere. Obviously, eventually, they're going to need to come off of that little island in the middle of nowhere and proceed to another section of the world. So, we're going to get started on this other section of the world by building up a little harbour town where our players will eventually end up proceeding to, because I'm going to have to railroad them a little bit in a specific direction to get them to move along the storyline, unless, of course, they do something stupid while sailing the boat. In which case they may end up in an underwater ruins of some sort. We'll find out. Let's see. Give me my build mode. Open my library and give me nature. So we're going to start off by putting down a layer of sand. And that's going to be the base layer of our area. And then we're going to have to figure out how high we want to actually make the docks. Now, I usually, because it's a fairly good measurement, I usually go 2 walls high. So I'm just using these as a marker for now. But yeah, I usually go this high for the docks. I'm thinking that I'm actually going to bring it up by 1 more. So make it that high, perhaps. Because I'm thinking I want some fairly heavy draft ships in this harbour. And I know that there's no ship pieces in this in Talespire. Hopefully they'll add some in the future. But yeah. Let's see. I want harbour pieces. We're gonna want some stone docks, or a big stone wall, as it were, first actually. So castle ruins probably be a pretty good idea. Okay, so we're gonna do this like this. And then each of those little ruin sections, we're gonna back them up on the end with these sort of pillar pieces, sort of some structural foundation for the harbour wall, because obviously you're not going to want your harbour wall to be flimsy. You're going to want it to be able to withstand having a ship of some sort crash into it. So we're going to build that up like this. And we'll bring it up to about here. This central section, we're actually going to pull a sewer piece in the middle so that we have a ladder. But I'm actually going to pull that back by... Oh. Okay, that's mildly annoying, actually. Where is... corner pieces? There we go. So we have a small corner piece, and then phase those into each other on the rest of the corner, so that that sort of looks fairly concise. Then we will bring these slabs over like that. We'll put a wall in here. Oopsie. Like that. And on the back of this wall, because obviously you can see there's like a fair amount of holes and stuff in the wall. We're actually going to put something behind here, sort of as a backing piece for the wall itself. And we'll lay some sand down here, and then put that there and that there. And then we have a nice backing piece so that light doesn't end up coming through. And it actually looks like there's more to it. There's more depth to the wall than just a single layer. It works quite well. So yeah. We are going to grab this. Which way is it oriented? Okay, that's fine. And we're going to pull this down to that level. And put that there. Does that look good? I don't feel like it fits, honestly. Let's try something else. Maybe that. That might work. What about these? No, too diagonal. Okay. So now we've got that. We have this bordering edge, if you will. I'm actually going to use dungeon flooring for the actual dock behind that section. Because the dungeon flooring is actually quite good for a dock, or for a harbour rather, because it has this sort of mossy texture, which works quite well. And I'm going to pull some of that out. And put those there. I'm going to grab one of the ones with cracked paving. Put that in there. And something that is quite good that you can do with these sorts of tiles and pieces is rotating them ever so slightly in a different direction in specific areas to make some slight variation in how the whole thing looks. So what you can see it in what I've done here, in that all of this sort of marring and mossy growth, none of it is facing the same direction. It's all very slightly sort of randomized in the way it's been designed. So yeah, and it is quite a decent way to make visual randomization. If everything looks grid-like, it ends up looking too framed and too built. Whereas even built structures need to have a form of natural view to them. So now, if we bring up the ocean to about the level where it would be, which is around about there, I feel. Maybe no, that's too high. Like it would probably rise at high tide. It would probably be about here. And at low tide, it would probably be around here. So that's something to consider. So yeah, we're going to leave it at... we're going to leave it about there for now. And that actually looks quite nice for like a harbour wall of some sort. Now, what I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to build sort of an outreaching stretch of harbour wall that ends in a lighthouse. I'm not sure how I want to do that yet, but I have a few ideas. Lovely. Stay hydrated, guys. Make sure to have a bottle of water near you. I don't have a cup of tea with me today. I'm not planning on going too long tonight. But yeah. Stay hydrated. Hydration is good for you. Okay, now one of the good things about Talespire is that once you've built a section of your little area, and I'm actually gonna. Oh, hold on. Once you've built up a section of your area, you can select it. Copy slab. Like that. And then copy it and slide it over into the next section. Now, I don't want to do that in this instance, at the very least. I want to pull it slightly further ahead. Actually, so that there is a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 block section between the sort of pillars, if you will. Oopsie. Have I done something? 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it is just perspective. But yeah. Having this section here means that we can extend out a set of piers that will make the entire thing look a little more visual. Now, I'm actually gonna rename the board to Tanis Eld Harbour Town. Right, there we go. So that I actually have a name for the board that we're working on. Now, this is going to be the big main harbour, but obviously not every town has a big main harbour. This town is fairly large. It's sort of like a bit of a city, if you will. So we're going to put a pair of short piers out here. And then we're going to sort of taper them off, I think. So let's see. Let's grab some more sand. And pull it out to about there. Like that. Technically speaking, this should be like that, and then we can put this down the middle so that it doesn't look too dissimilar when you actually view it from above the water. Okay. Let's grab a corner piece of dungeon, perhaps? No. Maybe... That might work quite nicely, actually. So we put that in. And you see we have a basic corner. And then we can pull that forward. And give it the shape that we're looking for. And as we form these sorts of shapes, we end up with a visual effect that is a lot more pleasing to the eye than your regular sort of stuff. And of course I'm flipping between orientations for these bits and pieces to give the walls of this area elements of randomness, which are quite handy. And on the Delmain Isle map, I have the ends of these sort of harbour pieces rounded off. I'm not going to do that with these ones. I'm going to make them more square, sort of a little more weathered as well. And I think that'll look quite good. And no, put that back. Let me grab this. Okay. Gonna take away these. Add a little bit of length to the whole thing. So that when we put in the laddering that is going to go on the side, it actually looks centered on the dock. And you don't have to do this but it does give it a slightly better visual effect, in my personal opinion. And then we put that there and that there. Oh. Pull that up to that level. And then we can actually use the back of the corner piece as an additional randomization. Or maybe not. Yeah, if we put it in, inset it slightly. No. No, I don't like that. But that works. That works quite nicely, actually. Right. Put in these all sections here for these ladders. Turn them into corners. Put in the rest of the corner pieces. Saves me time later on. we go. Then we go to the sewer section. We grab the ladder pieces. Put those in. Looks quite good. Then we pull these across the top. Just like that. It's easier to do a full line and then just delete the pieces you don't need if they're small than to do half a line and then another half a line and end up messing it up. Okay, that looks quite nice. I'm quite happy with that. Right. Now we go down to the dungeon section. We grab our cracked tiling and we pull that across this section here. Now, what you're seeing is as I grab the tiles, I'm alternating them across the floor, and rotating them very slightly, so that you can sort of see variation where a lot of the time you wouldn't really notice it or know to look for it. But because there is that variation, it stops your eye from looking at the floor and going, it's a grid. Instead, you look at the floor and you go, it's a floor. It looks like a floor. And that's sort of the intention. The intention is to make the player look at this sort of patterning and go, it's just a floor. Nobody put in any thought into this. Someone just laid out a floor. When actually, what you're trying to do is make the player feel like they're walking across a floor instead of just like walking across a grid. And I think that's something that a lot of times on a board, even a real life board, it's something that you need to understand and get very concise in, because yeah, okay, this entire area looks like a floor. It's a dock, but it is a floor. But if I did, say, for example, this, that looks like a grid. You look at it, every square is the same. Every square of 4 is exactly the same. You look at this and you see variation, and you don't think about that variation, but you see the variation and your brain goes, oh, it's not a grid, it's a floor. It's a little bit of a trick, tricking the mind into thinking that there isn't actually anything there, when actually someone has put a lot of work into tricking your mind to not think about it, which I think is quite a clever little solution to things. Now, I want to see what we have under the ladders. Yes, Dragon Reaper. It is also easier to hide traps. So one of the good things about Talespire is that you can just pull the sand across and make it very, very smooth. What I've done in the past is I've doubled up the layer of sand and phased it together to get rid of the grid lines entirely. That is something that you can do if you're really wanting to hide it, but at this point in time I'm not really that fussed. What makes it easy to hide traps? The idea of a floor that looks like a floor instead of a floor that looks like a grid. That's what I've been talking about just now. The idea of how you can sort of randomize the idea of how the floor looks to trick a person into thinking it looks like a floor and not just like a grid. I'm happy to recap this stuff. Don't worry, run, jump, stop. I mean, it's relatively new, Balrex, in fairness. Talespire is a fun little thing that I got a hold of fairly recently. And I'm discovering more ways to get my players immersed into the world of Talespire, or the world that I'm crafting in Talespire. Right, let me pull that down. Okay, now, as I was saying earlier, one of the good things about Talespire is that you can have blocks that essentially have little gaps in them. And if you want to add a decent amount of visual depth without actually making it look like there is any visual depth, or without actually adding any visual depth, you can essentially put something behind those sort of gaps to make it look like it's dark and shadowy, when actually it's just another layer of blocks. Aluka, you do not need to leave. This is not spoilers. None of this is spoilers. You are welcome to join me in chat if you'd like. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Camera controls you'll get the hang of relatively easily after a while, run, jump, stomp. They're not too hard. I use a mouse and keyboard for all of this. And middle mouse button to sort of orbit the camera like this, and then WASD. It's relatively easy to get the hang of. Interiors, slightly harder. I'm still struggling with interiors, but that's mainly because I'm looking at everything and going, how can I use this in an unexpected way? You know? So it's definitely something that I've put some thought into, but I haven't really had the time to mess about with interiors all that much. But yeah. There we go. So, what I've done in my other save, in the Delmain Isle save, is where I've done these sorts of docks, right? Bring me down. I've actually built most of these out of sort of sewer sections. And because of this, you have these sorts of underwater arches and stuff, which I think look quite good. And then at the end here, you've got these ladders as well. And you have sort of this gentle arch on the inside, which I think is quite a good design for a more high nobility harbour / dockyard. I think it looks quite good. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how some of this stuff has turned out. I've put a lot of sort of time and work into these word. I'm looking for a word. Into these boards, and I like that my players enjoy running around them and exploring. And it shows. It definitely shows. Like when your players are suddenly going, "Whoa, what's behind this door? What's behind this door?" It's definitely a lot of work well done. In my personal opinion. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's see. Put that down there. And then we have two rather nice looking piers. Now this is sort of a more industrial harbour, if you will. So the sort of square look is intentional in this case. You can make them round, you can make them square, you could probably make them triangular if you put your mind to it. But yeah. And then sort of because these are sort of the big piers, down this end, I'm thinking that we'll actually use the main sort of harbour pieces. And we'll bring this down. Now what is the difference? Ah, one has a barrel underneath, I see. So essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to cap off the end. Like that, and essentially make it a little more rustic and run down after this sort of section of the harbour, so that it looks a little more, or a little less rather, a little less fancy and up and coming. So actually, we need. Oh, actually, let's put that back. Let's pull the water level down to its lowest point. And then... Actually, no. Get rid of those. Grab the harbour pieces. And bring those along the edge. Like that. And then you have sort of this overlaid, slatted wood, which looks quite nice. And then you can also, because obviously these are sort of going to be floating dock pieces. So that'll be connected there. And I can bring that out to around about there. Question is, how does that look? Answer, not good. How do I want this? Ah, hold on. Is that too fancy? That might be too fancy. But doesn't look too bad. Let's bring back the water. Lift it up a little. Around about there. Yeah, the wood is still too... something. But that might work just about nicely. Except for the gaps. The gaps don't work. Ooh. That is not a bad idea, though. I mean... Still doesn't look right. The tones of the woods don't work well together. Realistically speaking, we could probably just do something like this. Not sure. I essentially need like a planks. Hold on. Well, that's practically perfect. Now, if I do that... Yeah, thought as much. Can I... do something like this? That actually looks pretty decent. You can pull this away. And use the stairs instead. And then... that works. Okay. That's not too bad, actually. Okay. Right. Let's take a break from the harbour section. Let's actually see about maybe some buildings and some other stuff. So let's actually think. We have this harbour. We probably want a way to navigate the area. So we're going to use these castle cobblestones to make stairs. And these stairs are gonna sort of... they're gonna go around the area a little bit. Pull that away. And these stairs are just going to be a sort of easy way down to the harbour, essentially. And we'll add a little bit of visual variation. Pull those away as well. And put those there. Like that. And we're going to bring this up by about to about there, maybe. I'm gonna want something in the corner here. A bit like that. Maybe slightly lower. Like that. And we'll bring the stairs up by one more piece. Like that. And that'll be the top of our staircase, I think. Put these at the top as sort of a marker for the stairs, and additionally, to give it a little bit of flair, let's grab some miscellaneous exterior stuff. Put a pair of knights on plinths at the top of the stairs. Yeah, that looks quite nice. Okay. So we have this sort of visual of how we want the town to exist now. So we have these sorts of stairs that take us up to the upper reaches, but obviously there's going to be more along the docks as well. You're probably going to want a warehouse, maybe a couple of market stalls for ships that are coming in and passengers that are getting off the ships at early afternoon or sort of thing. Okay. Obviously we're going to want some sort of, well, maybe not a railing for these stairs, but definitely some sort of wall. So let's bring up a wall. How high do we want to make this? Something along those lines in height, I think. Yeah. Something a little bit like that. Yeah, I think that looks good. And bring that down. And then, just below these stairs, just below these walls, we can put in a little bit of a natural rock formation. Something that blends nicely with the area. And descends sort of into the water. A reason as to why the harbour doesn't extend out past this point, essentially. You see, when you're building a map, a lot of the times you want to add a distinct style of storytelling to it. Something that, even if your players aren't actively focusing on the game at hand, they are still going to be invested because they're looking around at the map that you've built and slowly piecing together clues about what you might have planned from what you've designed around them. And I think that's very important in a lot of map building, especially if you want your players to be taken in by the campaign that you're you're trying to have them enjoy, they definitely need to have that area that they can sort of focus on and interpret. I feel like that's very important. So you have this sort of rocky outcrop that is just under the stairs, and it's probably the reason why there is not another pier over here, and why they decided to put the stairs in here is because of this rocky outcrop, essentially. And we'll put a tiny pebble just there. Okay. You can also put small patches of like little darker tones here and there to give the visuals a very slight sort of difference. And then you can have, because this is a sort of a sea area, you can have barnacles and starfish sitting on the outcrops. A little bit like that. Perhaps a small pair of oysters as well. Carefully avoiding a walrus of some sort. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. This is the sort of visual that your players might not notice a lot of the time, but if they do notice it, they will probably appreciate it, and they'll look at it and they'll go, "Oh my god, look at that tiny little piece of world building." It's small, but it's noticeable, and a lot of the time, that sort of thing is what your players are consistently enjoying, essentially. There we go. And we are going to grab this wall. Oh, slightly too far in. There we go. Pull that away. Yeah, that looks nice. I like it. I'm going to pull that up slightly. And now you have this sort of stairway here. And on this stairway you have the framing of the two knights, or the statues of the paladins, if you will, sitting at the top of the stairs, and it frames the whole area quite nicely. And then probably at the top here you might have like a small rotunda town square of some sort. I haven't decided yet. Let's see. Okay, well. Let's pull this back by 5. Please shut up. Christmas has been and gone. I don't want to hear any more Christmas songs. Right. Where was I? Oh, right. So we have this area here. There we go. Now, what we could do with this area, actually, is take one of these sewer grates and put it down there. Sort of gives it... Like, you're probably not going to put anything in this area. So it gives it a sort of purpose, if you will. Hi, Sawtooth. You're a one-man raid from Kieran's stream. I see. Well, tell Kieran I said hi. Tell Dave I said hi. Let's see. And we can put that there and there. I feel like this should probably go here. Yeah, I got that, Sawtooth. Don't worry, I got that. I understood. I think, yeah, pull that one up by 1. There we go. Now, what this can actually tell your players is that there is a sewer here, which is quite good because it means that you can probably span an entire sewer system underneath the town, which is probably what I'm going to do. I just don't feel like planning that out quite at this very moment. Let's see. So, bearing in mind that this is where the main area of the town is going to go, let's take away this line and put in these walls. Because one of the things that we can actually do in this section knowing that we will probably end up with some sort of... You just finished banning 100 people on Twitter? That's a lot of people to ban, Sawtooth. I'm assuming they were all dicks, so, you know. Right. Okay, so... Let's say that this is the outermost edge of our rotunda. And then we pull it in by 3, in by 2, in by 1. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, fair enough. So, do that. How's that? No, I don't like that either. Doing circles is definitely something that will drain a lot of your time and energy. Circles are difficult. I fucked something up there. There is a website for Minecraft circles. Yes, there is. That is true. I'm not in Minecraft. And while I understand what you mean, at this point I've gotten to the... I know how to make a circle in Minecraft well enough that I can make one right off my head. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. That looks decent. Right, so now that we've got our circle, we're going to pull these tiles towards the center. And then in the middle, we're going to grab a door, but more specifically, we're going to grab a trapdoor. Put that down in the middle. And then on top of that, under miscellaneous exterior, we're going to grab this corner of a fountain. But before we do that, we're actually going to fill in the edge sort of section so that our fountain doesn't end up falling through the world. Let's grab... perhaps. These might work nicely. Because obviously the rotunda is probably going to be cleaned fairly regularly, so the tiles will probably be nice and prim. But that looks too interior. We're in temple. I'm getting rid of these ones. I don't like them. They're too pale in contrast. Okay. There we go. There we go. I'm not sure I like it though, honestly. I feel like it needs more of something. I'm not sure what. Maybe the colour's off. Might be the colour. Let's see what else we have. We have these sort of cobblestones, but they don't tile well. See what I mean? They grid too much, essentially. These might work. These feel like they might work quite well, actually. Yeah, I think that'll do. We'll pull in some corner pieces, like this. And then for the outer edge, we'll do something different. What do we have? These are too bright, really, realistically speaking. Oh no, marble won't do it all. Much too fancy. No. doesn't look good either. Hmm. How about that? I mean, it's not bad. Don't feel like it's what I'm looking for, though, either. Too orange. Definitely too orange. That might do for the edges. That might work, actually. Hold on, let's give that one a go. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I can't really make a fountain. But we do have a decent alternative. There we go. Yeah. That looks pretty decent. And then we can use these cobblestones around the edge. Now that I think about it, those cobblestones should probably go slightly lower. It's around about there. Okay. That works quite well. Yeah, that looks quite nice, actually. I like that. Thank you for the tea, Kaluka. I don't actually have any tea with me today. Today it's just water. Yes, I shall. In a moment. Let me just finish this circle. And then see what it looks like. Well, you don't have to leave, Aluka. I'm not doing anything that could spoil you. Right. Do I like that circle? Oh, you're still playing Witchwood. I see. I see. No, I think I want to make it slightly bigger. Okay. That feels better. I like that. Fair enough. I may join you for some Sea of Thieves, if I feel like it. If you are wishing for somebody to play with. I shall let you know if I end up on Sea of Thieves. Okay. I'm quite happy with how that looks, actually. It's decent. A decent circle. A decent circular sort of central square, if you will. Right, now grab the Fences tab. And put that in there. There we go. That looks good. Right. Now we don't want to have anything down here, so this will probably be sort of rocks. Maybe. I'm going to want a road that comes along here. I'm going to want to put a wall here. Now, I realize that it may look like I'm following some sort of predetermined plan, but I'm actually not. Everything that I'm doing right now is completely freeform. So yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's grab another one of those walls. And we'll bring them back to about here. There we go. And then to block up the gaps, we'll grab some of the Morgoth walls and put them behind. Right, and then we will grab this piece, put that there. And we'll take the castle ruins pieces to the floor and start laying them out along here, so that we can have some cobbled sidewalks, essentially. Oh. So the wall is very slightly above level of the ground, which means we'll need to bring a secondary layer into play. But that's fine. It's not too much of a hassle. It's just a case of some small adjustments. I hope I'm not boring people with my extensive thought process on these sorts of things. But I do like to be thorough. Now, what I'm also going to do is at this section of the dock, I'm actually going to build a small ramp going up onto the main street. So you have this sort of stairway on the corner for foot traffic, but obviously you're probably going to want to bring goods down onto the dock as well. So you're going to want another route down that is on the main street that you can take as well. this is looking quite nice. Now, obviously, this is only a small part of the overall design. This is just the docks of this small town. There's probably going to be a lot more. There's probably going to be a decent amount of cliffs and stuff like that. Eventually, obviously, this will go up on Tales Tavern for people to enjoy and play around with. Eventually. Can't promise when, though. I want to make this more like a slope than a set of steps. too long. Can probably bring it back a step. Yeah, that could work. There we go. So we have a gentle sloping curve down into the harbour area for any horse-drawn carts and all that sort of thing. Unfortunately, there's no slopes in Talespire, so I'm sort of left with having to use gentle steps. Ah well. It is what it is. There we go. Not bad. I think it looks quite good. Of course, yeah, players can just imagine the slope, that is true. Of course, when it comes to harbour layouts and stuff, you're always going to want to have more than one entrance and exit. So I'm probably going to put a set of stairs, maybe slightly steeper set of stairs over this side. Then there's going to be some more more wooden style harbour sections over this way. I haven't decided yet. I think I might put a cliff around this edge, so sort of spinning its way around here with maybe a beach on the lower section. We'll see. Yeah. That's not bad, though. I quite like how that looks. Okay. Let's build this out like this. We don't really need a walkway along that section, realistically speaking. And we'll put these knights over here. I think. Like that. There we go. Not bad. Whoopsie. There we go. So we probably have enough space for 2 houses in this section here. So one sort of here and one sort of here. And they'll overhang over the harbour as well, with 2 stories, I'm thinking. So that might look quite nice. I think we'll put some markets down here. Maybe some storage, I'm not sure yet. Stack of barrels, maybe. Something like that. Yeah. That looks nice. That looks pretty decent. I like it. Some stone down there. Some loose rocks. Perhaps. Bad. A little bit of clutter never does your environment any harm. A little bit of clutter, a little bit of visual interplay between objects around your environment always helps fill that environment. It makes it feel lived in. It makes it feel generally more existed than you would usually find. Which is a good thing. Hmm. Right, I also want to come back down here, grab some of these and sink them into the ends of the pier to act as mooring points for ships. There we go. And I'm gonna grab some lights. I think some of these hanging lanterns. And I'm going to embed them into these pillars. No, I think I put that one a little too far in. There we go. Nice. So then we have a little bit of light, a little bit of visual illumination to the area. And you can sort of see that. Oh shit. If I bring it to sort of nighttime, you can sort of see the gentle illumination that it does. Right. Okay. That's pretty decent. For a first sort of session, well, I say first session, for a first pass at this sort of townscape that I want to build, that is pretty decent. I like it. I'm thinking that we'll have sort of a market stool just here on the side of the house that we'll put here. We'll put a little alleyway in the middle here and then another house over here. And that'll look quite nice, I think. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been streaming for about 2 hours 15 minutes at this point. I think I'm going to call it a little bit of a shorter stream today, since we weren't doing any World of Madness shenanigans. I think I'm going to make it a little shorter today, a little less, and we're going to go raid someone. We're going to go raid a Sarental who has just started streaming. And yeah, thank you all very much for joining us this evening, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this little venture down into the realm of Talespire and the building. I'll probably do another of these streams in the future. I hope you all had fun. Have a very good evening, everyone, and a very good night.